Hello students, in today's class I brought a few case studies for you. Let us see one by one so that you will get a better clarity on these things. First, let us see the first question. The total fund allotted for a village is x cube plus 6x square plus 20x plus 9. The officer has divided the fund equally among families of the village and each family receives an amount of this. After distribution, some amount is left. So understand the question properly, the logic behind it, and then answer your questions. They told you the total fund allotted for a village is this. So the fund allotted, they have given it in a polynomial. Okay, this is from the chapter polynomial. And the officer equally divided among families and each family receives. So each family receives an amount of this. So your first question is, how many families are there in the village? So total fund is this, each family receives this. So to find the number of families, what we should do? We should divide this by this. Right? If I say I have 10 chocolates and each one get 2 chocolates, to find how many people are there, what we will do? We will divide 10 by 2. So 5 gives the number of persons. So I have distributed the 10 chocolates among 5 persons, right? The same way here they have given you the total fund allotted as a polynomial and each one receives an amount that is also another polynomial. So we have to divide this polynomial by another polynomial. Hope you remember the division of a polynomial by another polynomial. What we will do? First you have to take the first term and you try to make this as 0. Right? So if we multiply by x only, we will get x cube. Then you have to multiply, then in a division we will do subtraction, right? So this term will get cancelled, we got this, then brought the next term, again try to make the first term as 0. So we have to multiply it by 4, so 4x squared. So we got some remainder, right? And this is our number of families. So the number of families is x plus 4. The number of families is x plus 4. So you will get your options, MCQs, multiple choices, for each question under case study. So after doing your process, after working out, you can check the options and accordingly you can give your answer, right? The next question, if an amount of 1911 is left after distribution, what is the value of x? This is the amount left. Reminder is the amount left after distributing. Okay. See, this is like they have allotted this much amount for each family. And we will get a remainder which is less than the divisor, right? So there some amount is left out after dividing among each family. So if an amount is 191111, what is the value of x? So you have to equate the remainder to 191111, bring the numbers to the other side and find the value of x. Third question, how much amount does each family receive? In the question itself, they have given each family receives x square plus 2x plus 2. Alright, so in that substitute the x value because we found what is x value 191. Mostly each question will have a link among itself when we are solving a case study, right? So if we substitute, we got this answer, just mere substitution of x value in the quadratic. Then the next question is, what is the amount of fund allotted? This is also the same way. We know the amount of fund allotted is given in a cubic polynomial. Just now we found the value of x. So substitute, calculate and find out what is the answer. Right? The last question is, how many families are there in a village? This also we found in terms of x, which is x plus 4. Again substitute for x, we will get. So 195 families are there. That's it. So this is how only you have to solve a question. So understand the logic and then do it. Let us move on to the second question. Second question is from applications of trigonometry. There is 2 air balloons at the point P and Q. There are 2 air balloons, okay? And this is what the diagram you got it out of the instruction which is given in the question. And if you see and hope you know what is meant by angle of depression and what is meant by angle of elevation. When they give you the depression means seeing from top to the bottom. Seeing from top to the bottom. If you get an angle of depression, make it as an angle of elevation to solve your problem. With the angle of depression, we won't solve our problem. Whether it is going to be case study or any other problem from applications of trigonometry, which you get for any other marks also. So wherever you come across applications of trigonometry, heights and distances problem, change the angle of depression into angle of elevation. How will you change? We know that Z shape, right? Because we know two parallel lines and the transversal alternate angles are equal. So see the Z, where you are getting the Z. So this Z comes here and here. So this 30 will be same as here. Okay. So this full angle is 45 degree. This Z comes here. So this 45 will be equal to this. And here is 30, therefore from here to here, so this will become 30. Likewise only you have to convert angle of depression to angle of elevation, right? They have given all these inputs. The air balloon moves from the point P to Q, which is 50 meter. And they didn't tell what is the distance from the ground level to the first position of the air balloon, and the distances also they didn't give. So the first question, what is the relation between the height x of the balloon at point P and the distance D between the point A and B? They asked you to find the relation. This is again an easy problem. In heights and distances, we will always mostly we will go to tan ratio, and according to the requirement of the problem, you can choose the other trigonometric ratios also, but mostly it will be tan ratio. Here they asked you to find the relation between x and D. Right, so this is your right triangle. PAB is your right triangle. So we got this as theta, opposite by adjacent. So go for tan theta x by d. Tan theta is 1 by root 3. So if you cross multiply, we got d equal to root 3x. Again, you check out the options which is given in the question. If it is just d equal to root 3x, you go for that option. Or else in the question where I have taken, the option is d square equal to 3x square. So which shows you have to square it on both sides. So it will become d square equal to 3x square. Okay. So it all depends on the options which you are going to get out of this question. According to the options, you have to simplify it further. Right. Then next is our question is, when balloon rises further 50 meters. So from here the balloon rises 50 meter. Then what is the relation between new height? So they have marked this new height as y. New height y and d. So now we need the relation between this y and d. So we have to consider this full triangle, and that angle also given, which is 45 degree. Again we will go for tan ratio. So tan 45 is y by d. Tan 45 is 1, so y equal to d. Right. Third question, what is the new height of the balloon at point Q? What is the new height of the balloon at point Q? Which means they asked you to find y. Okay, they asked you to find y. So how to find y now? So in the previous subdivision, we found the relation between d and y. D is equal to y. But what is d? We found it as root 3x. So root 3x is equal to y. But y can also be written as x plus 50. X plus 50. So y I have written it as x plus 50. Right? Now bring this x to the other side. Okay, so it will become root 3 minus 1 into x, which is equal to 50. Then solve for x, we will get our answer. That is what the new height. So try to express it in a single variable, then only we can solve it. Hope you got this answer. We got y equal to d, and d we found it as root 3x, and y can also be written as x plus 50. Then if you simplify, we can find the height, right? So through this we can find what is our x. After solving for x, we have to find out what is y. Y is x plus 50. So we have to add this value with 50. So 25 root 3 plus 1 plus 50 will give you 25 into root 3 plus 3. Again, it all depends on what options are you getting. After this you can take 3 also common. So this will become 1 plus root 3. If that option is given, you have to simplify it further and choose that option. If this answer is given, then you have to stop with this. Okay, hope you got it. They asked you to find the new height y. This y can be written as, again you can take with the same a triangle. You can write tan 45 is equal to y by d, but y can be written as x plus 50 and d can be written as root 3x. Only if we write in terms of a single variable, we can solve it, right? and solve it and find what is the value of x. After finding x, you add with 50 to get the value of y, right? Next question is, what is the distance AB on the ground? So this is what our AB. They asked you to find the distance AB on the ground. Again, you can go with this smaller triangle or this bigger triangle, because anyhow we found the value of x as well as the value of y. If you take the smaller triangle, it will become tan 30 is equal to opposite by opposite by adjacent. We know what is x value, and d also in terms of x we know. So substitute both and find what is AB, right? You can find what is AB, or else you can take the bigger triangle and then also you can solve for it. Now I have taken the bigger triangle because tan 45 is always easier. So tan 45 is opposite by adjacent. Y I have written it as x plus 50 divided by AB, because AB only we need to find out. So AB is equal to, I have substituted the value of x, 25 into root 3 plus 1. Then you have to simplify it and then check your option, right? This answer is given in the option, so you can stop with this. If this option is given, you have to simplify it further by taking root 3 as common. Next question, what is the distance AC on the ground? This is also the same way. AC is this full distance. So you have to take the full triangle. So tan ratio opposite by adjacent, right? Opposite we have found out the value. X plus 50. X value is this. So if you simplify, you will get your answer. So slowly, if you understand the question and do it step by step, you can solve the problems. Let us move on to the next question. Next question is based on probability. Two dice are thrown simultaneously. Hope you can do it by your own. So two dice are thrown simultaneously. If a single number 1 is thrown on either die, the score for that whole turn is lost. Okay, that is given in the question. Now the first question is, what is the probability of getting the sum as an even number? When two dice is thrown, you know what is the sample space. They told that the sum should be an even number. So you have to choose your appropriate evens. So 1 plus 1 is 2. So it's an even number. 1 plus 2 is 3, which is an odd number. So you should not choose this. 3 plus 1, 4, which is an even number. Then 4 plus 1, which is 5, which is not an even number. 5 plus 1, 6, which is an even number. Likewise, you have to write all the events of A. Then probability of that event is going to be number of favorable outcomes divided by total number of outcomes. Total number of outcomes is 36. You have to count and simplify, right? Second question is probability of getting the sum as a prime number. The same way, you have to add the things and you have to check whether it is a prime number or not. One is neither prime nor composite, remember. What is the probability of getting the sum of at least 10? Whenever you have a word at least means minimum there should be 10. So 10 or more only you have to choose. Okay, at least 10 means minimum there should be 10. So starting from 10 you can take and more than 10. The sum should be 10 or more than 10. What is the probability of getting a doublet of even number? Doublet means what? The same number. And it should be an even number. So only options are 2, 2, 4, 4 and 6, 6. So 3 by 36, which is nothing but 1 by 12. Next question is, what is the probability of getting a product of numbers greater than 16? Now you have to multiply. 6 3s are 18, 4 5s are 20. Likewise, if you multiply, you should get greater than 16. They didn't mention greater than or equal to 16. So you should not take equal to 16, greater than 16 only. You have to take purely greater than 16. Check how many things are there, then find the probability. I hope if you get a case study under probability and coordinate geometry, you will do it in a better way. Coordinate geometry also easier. Mostly we will get finding the distance. Hope in the previous video I have explained one case study on coordinate geometry. If you know the distance formula and section formula, you can do the coordinate geometry. Either they will ask the position of the point or else they will ask you to find the distance between the points. If you apply in distance formula, you will get the answer. So probability and coordinate geometry will be easier. Polynomials only you are finding difficult, and even heights and distances, hope you will do it. Okay, let us see another question. This question is also based on polynomials. See, there is some manufacturing company. They are producing up to 300 barrels per day, and the profit is given as a polynomial. The profit of the company is given as a polynomial p of x equal to minus 10x square plus 3500x minus 66,000. X denotes the number of barrels made and sold. Your first question is when no barrels are produced, no barrels, and x denotes the number of barrels, right? When no barrels are produced, what is the profit or loss they asked. So no barrels means x is equal to 0. So if you put x is equal to 0 in the profit equation, we are getting a negative number. Negative means loss, positive means profit. So if no barrels are produced, they end up with a loss of 66,000, right? The next question is what is the break-even point? Break-even point, na, they itself given explanation, 0 profit point. So you have to equate the profit equation to 0. So P of x is equal to 0. So if we equate it to 0, we have to factorize and find the value of x. Since it is a quadratic equation, I have reduced it by dividing by minus 10 first and then splitting the middle term. We got x equal to 330 or 20. So based on the option which is given in the question, you choose your answer for x. Next question is what is the profit or loss if 175 barrels are produced? So number of barrels denoted by x. So put x is equal to 175 in the profit equation. Again you end up with a positive number, so it's a profit if they produce 175 barrels. If you get a negative number, you should give loss. Okay. What is the profit or loss if 400 barrels are produced? You have to solve it in the same way, so I didn't do this. Then what is a maximum profit which can manufacturer earn? So this is another kind of question. Understand it properly. Maximum profit. Your profit equation is given, right? So in order to get the maximum profit, we have to reduce it further and make it in an understandable way so that you can give your conclusion. So what are we going to do here is take minus 10 common and make it as a whole square term. Okay, so I have applied completing the squares method. What is completing the squares? How you will complete the squares? In order to make it as a perfect square, we have to add and subtract square of the half the coefficient of x. What is the coefficient of x here? 350. So divide 350 by 2, square it, add and subtract. I repeat, add and subtract half the coefficient of x. Don't bother about the sign. Add and subtract square of the half the coefficient of x. Whatever the coefficient of x is in spite of its sign, divide it by 2, square it, add and subtract. Okay. The added number you should take with your polynomial and subtracted number you should add with your constant. So this can be written as 350 divided by 2 is 175. So this will become a minus b the whole square. So what is your b? X. Why it is minus? Because the middle term is minus. So x minus 175 the whole square. Only then if you expand you will get this a square minus 2ab minus 2 into a is x, b is 175. 2 into 175 you will get 350, right? Plus b square. So 175 square. 350 divided by 2 is 175. You will get 175 square. Alright. And then you have to simplify this 175 square plus 66,000. If we simplify, we are getting this. Then I have multiplied this 10. Minus 10 into this. Minus into minus will become plus. 10 into this is this. This is what the final equation we arrived at. So when they ask for the maximum limit of the given equation, you have to undergo this method only. What you have to do, express it as a perfect squares plus some number or minus some number. Okay, perfect square plus some number or perfect some addition of some number or a subtraction of some number. While doing it as a perfect square, you can adopt completing the square method. Now if you see, the maximum profit they can obtain is this amount. Why? Because this is only plus. X denotes the number of barrels they produced, right? So if we substitute the value here, even though it is since it's a whole square, this value is going to become positive only. Positive with negative sign, it is going to become minus, right? So if we put 1 here, we will get some amount to be reduced from this. Even if they produce 1 barrel, so it will become what? Some amount to be reduced from this. So the maximum profit they can reach is only this. Okay. Hope you got it. This is a negative number, so this value should be reduced from this amount. Okay, so the maximum profit is only this much. After that, it will get reduced. Slowly, it will get reduced. Right? So, plus we have some numbers, so this will be the maximum profit they can reach. This is how only you have to solve a problem of this kind. Right? Hope you got it. Let us move on to the next question. Next question is on probability again, but this is like they have given you the central angle. They have expressed this in a circle graph or pie graph. So based on this, how will you do your probability? So according to the, see, your probability formula is number of favorable outcomes divided by total number of outcomes. According to the question, you have to choose your total. So what is the probability of favorite color being red? So here the central angle is given. So 36 divided by the total angle is 360. So out of 360, 36 is red. That's how only you have to do your probability question. So after simplification, we got 0.1 because your options are being given in decimal. Okay. Next question, favorite color being blue or green. When it comes to R, I told you it's union, and if you see blue and green are disjoint sets, they don't have any intersection. So probability of B or G is nothing but probability of B plus probability of G. We have to add these two. I didn't simplify here because if we have same denominator, it will be easy to add the numerators. So I have added and then I have simplified. So it's up to you. You can do it in any way. The next question, not being red or blue. Not being red or blue means find red or blue and subtract from 1. Or else leaving red or blue, you can find the remaining 3. It's up to you again. But going with this way is easier. Find red or blue and subtract from 1. That will give you not red or blue. Next question is, what is the probability of not being orange or green? The same way as we have done. Find orange or green and then subtract from 1. What is the probability of favorite color being red or blue? Already we found here. You can give the same answer. Alright, hope you understood. I'm giving you these problems. I didn't solve because it is of the same kind. Hope you can do it. Right? Let us see the next question. This is quite interesting, again based on polynomials. Lavanya throws a ball upwards from a rooftop which is 20 meters above from the ground. It will reach a maximum height. Okay. And then fall back to the ground. The height of the ball from the ground at time t is h, which is given by h is equal to this. So the equation related to height and time is given. Okay, a girl throws a ball upwards, it will reach a maximum height and then it will reach the ground level. This distance is given as 20. This is the maximum height. Okay, they have given you. It is like the polynomial question which we have seen earlier. Let us see the questions now. What is the height reached by the ball after 1 second? So it's clear. You have to put t equal to 1 in the given equation. That will give you the height. Okay, it's mere simplification. Next question. What is the maximum height reached by the ball? So just now I have explained a question. When they ask you to find the maximum value, try to express it in the form of perfect squares plus some number or minus some number, so that you can answer it in a proper way. So that's what we have done it here. I have taken minus 4 as common. So t square minus 4t minus 5. Now express, don't split the middle term, make it as a perfect square. Then only you will get a positive number there. So how to make it as a perfect square? Again by adopting completing the squares method. So, half the coefficient of t, you have to square it and then add and subtract. Add and subtract the square of the half the coefficient of t. So, the coefficient of t is 4, so half is 2. So, I have added and subtracted 2 squared. So, first 3 terms, if you club middle term is minus, so it will become t minus 2 the whole square. This will become minus 4 minus 5, which is minus 9. Again multiply, don't add with this, right? Don't give your conclusion with this step. Split it. Minus 4 into t minus t2 the whole square. Minus into minus will become plus. 4 9s are 36. So the maximum height it can reach is 36 meter because it is plus. Okay, even though it is perfect square, it is going to become a positive number. Plus into minus, it will become negative. So it will get reduced. The height will get reduced further, right? So the maximum height they can reach is 36. Hope you got a clear idea. So this is the way you have to solve a problem of this kind. Next is, how long will the ball take to hit the ground? How long will the ball take to hit the ground? So to hit the ground, when a ball hits the ground, the height is going to be 0, right? So put h is equal to 0 in the given equation and solve for t. Split the middle term, you can find t. Time cannot be negative. We got 5 or minus 1. So at 5 seconds only the ball will hit the ground. So understand the question and apply. Hit the ground. When it hits the ground, the height is going to be 0. So put h is equal to 0. Okay. Next question, what are the two possible times to reach the ball at the same height of 32 meter? So they have given you height as 32 meter. They asked you to find the time, two possible times when it reached the height of 32 meter. So put h is equal to 32. Write the equation equated to 32. Solve for it. We will get two values for t. So at 1 or 3 seconds, it can reach the height of 32 meter. Right. Next question, where is the ball after 5 seconds? See, from this we found that at 5 seconds the ball will hit the ground. At 5 seconds the ball will hit the ground. So after 5 seconds what will happen? The ball will rebound. After 5 seconds the ball will rebound. This is also according to the options which is given in the question. You have to give your answer. Again I am insisting on each question one after the other, they may get a link. They will have a link among themselves. So don't get confused. If you have a question like this, you recall the previous questions and see the answers what you obtained and then give your answer accordingly. Because at 5 seconds, it will hit the ground. So after the 5 seconds, what it will do? It will rebound. Right? Hope you got a clear idea about this question. Let's see the last question. This is also again based on applications of trigonometry. They have given you, there are 4 persons, Colin, Dev, Amar and Bhavani, and there is a cliff. On the cliff, Colin is standing and Dev is here flying in an aircraft, and Bhavani and Amar are on boats. I didn't write the question clearly. I have given you only the diagram. And also this D should come here. I have drawn it wrongly. This D should come here. Dev is here. Okay, straight to Bhavani. So this is what the question, and they have mentioned these angles as A. This as A, B, D, C, E, F. This is given in the question, and also the angles are also given in the question. So according to the angle of depression, I marked the angle of elevation. They have given you this angle as 30. So if this is 30, this will also be 30 because this is like your Z. Right? So this angle is given, angle of depression is given. So this will be 60. Accordingly, I have marked it in the diagram. Let us move on to the first question. Which of the following is a pair of angle of elevation? Elevation means what? Seeing up. From the bottom to the top, if we see, that is called angle of elevation. Angle of depression means top to bottom, top to bottom. So analyze the question and choose the angles. Angle of elevation, seeing from bottom to top, from Colin to Dev, B is angle of elevation. Angle E, Amar to Colin, seeing from bottom to top, Bhavani to Colin, but that is not given in the question. Okay, so seeing from bottom to top, bottom to top is your angle of elevation. So understand it properly and choose your angles. Then next is, which of the following is a pair of angle of depression? The same way, depression means top to bottom. See, Dev to Colin, then top to bottom, Colin to Amar, Colin to Bhavani are the angle of elevation, but out of, angle of depression. Out of this, which is given in your option, you have to check out. Angle C and angle D. Angle C is Colin to Amar, angle D is Colin to Bhavani. So these are angle of depressions, right? The next question is, if angle of elevation of Amar to Kolin is 60 degree, what is the distance of Amar boat from the base of the hill? Amar boat is here. They asked you to find the distance of Amar boat from the base of the hill. So they asked you to find what is AB. So they asked you to find what is this AB. So we can take this triangle. They have given you a cliff here. So I have joined it, right? H, and this distance we have to find out. They have given in terms of H only. So we can take this triangle. So tan 60 is OA by OB. So root 3 is equal to H by AB. So we can find what is AB. Alright. Next question, the angle of depression of Kolin to Bhavani is 30 degree. What is the distance of Amar boat from the Bhavani boat? So they asked you to find this distance. Right. What is the distance of Amar boat from the Bhavani boat? So they asked you to find this distance. So what can we do it now? This is not a right triangle if you take. So we can take this full triangle. Okay, take this as your theta. So you can apply tan ratio. Tan 30 is opposite by adjacent. So H by AC. AC can be written as AB plus BC. AB just now we found it in the third subdivision. You can substitute that value. So tan 30 is OA by AC. H by AC can be written as AB plus BC. AB is H by root 3 plus BC. Now cross multiply and simplify it, you can find out what is BC value. BC is the distance between Amar and Bhavani. Right? Your last question, if angle of depression of Dev and Kolin is 60 degree, what is the height of Dev from base of hill? So this full height we need to find out. Actually Dev is here. Okay. This full height we had to find out. So how to find this full height? First we can find what is DM. Then we can find what is MC and then we will add. First take this triangle, okay, this triangle tan 60 is equal to DM by OM. But OM is same as AC. Just now we found AC value, no? What is AC value? AB plus BC. AB also we know, BC also we know. So DM by AB plus BC, AB value and BC value I have substituted. Cross multiply it, this we can add 3H by root 3. So cross multiply, we got DM is equal to 3H. Similarly, let us find what is MC. How to find our MC? Take this triangle, OMC. OMC triangle is a right triangle. Again, we can take this 30 as our theta. So opposite by adjacent. So tan theta is equal to MC by OM. Right? Again, OM distance. OM is same as AC. AC can be written as AB plus BC. So I have directly written 3H by root 3. That's what we got after simplifying in the first thing, right? So I have done it directly. Then cross multiply it. We can find what is CM. After finding CM, add DM with CM. We have added, that will give you what is DC. So that gives you the distance between Dev from the Dev to height of Dev from the base of the hill, right? Hope you understood. So in today's class I have explained nearly 7 case studies problem, that too different thing. Case studies from applications of trigonometry, probability, then mainly we have seen from polynomials. Hope you got a better clarity on this. In further classes I try to give few more case studies from different chapters so that you will get a better clarity. I didn't explain about coordinate geometry. I did it in the last video. It's a easy kind, so hope you can do it. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. Redo all these questions once again, then only you will understand it. Don't listen to the video as such. You have to work it out once again so that only you will understand it. Okay. Thank you, students.